met online? And anyone can answer this.
I would say no, but I do have stories that I've heard from men and from women that they met someone online and that they wanted to make sure they wouldn't get catfish. So they would say that they were going to meet a certain place and find out what the person was driving. They would lie about what they were driving because they wanted to see the person before they let the person see them. And then I've known people to say that the person didn't look like they thought they were and they actually left. I'm like, oh, my God, that is so horrible.
Oh, no, I've actually done something like that before. Like this was almost like, I want to say like 7 years ago. I met a guy, and in his pictures he was attractive, and this was before there was Snapchat and people were sending selfies and making it a big deal. This was literally like when we had like maybe MySpace and the bare minimum Facebook, but I didn't have this guy's Facebook or MySpace, but I had his dating profile. And so when I walked into, I think it was BJ's, I noticed like this guy looked older, and I feel so bad that I feel bad because I was pretty shallow. He looked like 30 pounds heavier than he was in his pictures. And mind you, girl, I was like also overweight a little bit, but I literally just walked out, and then I legit just blocked the guy's number and I ghosted him. That was the worst thing I could ever do for a man, and I feel like I already had gotten that karma by having certain guys ghost me. So that's my story about being ghosted. And anyone else want to share? Going on.
I want to ask. Like, I wonder what you guys think. Like, let's say, for example, if you ghost someone or you get ghosted, how does someone actually feel when that happens to them? Because we still are dealing with humans, and people have feelings and egos. So how do you think people would feel if they get ghosted? Or doesn't even not even really matter?
Absolutely.
So it's like.
No, absolutely. Like, I know what you mean. Like, if somebody gets ghosted, for example, like if somebody like develops feelings for someone else and they just like automatically disappear, of course, they would be sad. I would be sad, especially like when I really like the guy, because I've even had it like even recent dates. I really liked the guy and I thought it was gonna go somewhere, and he just ghosted me, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm back on the market. But it's really sad.
Oh, wow.
And how about you, ladies? Yeah. But again, I do want to let you ladies know if a guy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I wanted to share that a friend of mine met a guy. She lived in North Carolina. He lived in Virginia, and they were talking on the phone, and they had, I don't think it was FaceTime, but they had seen each other some kind of chat, like headshots basically. But she really was digging him, and he was digging her. And she thought after 2 or 3 weeks they were in love, and they were basically saying like, what if we meet and we don't have chemistry or blah blah. He was like, listen, we talk all day long, like we're in love. It doesn't even matter. And she was so excited, but she was a little self-conscious about going to see him face to face, blah blah. She drove like 5 hours to Virginia, met the guy, and remember they were talking for a couple of weeks. So she slept with him the same night. And then things seemed a little different. Conversation really wasn't all that. After 2 days, she left, and he never contacted her again. She was crushed.
You know why? Because obviously he was looking for one thing and he got it. And you know what? Like, men who do that, who like, this is a tendency with men on dating sites. This is one reason why I don't like dating sites, because there are men, they will spend a week, 2 weeks of getting to know a girl, tell her what she wants. Oh my gosh, you're gorgeous, you're amazing. Oh my gosh, I want to have kids with you. Like all this BS. And the thing is like, we're like, when we know it's too good to be true, but we still go with it anyways until we're like, oh my gosh, this guy's telling me what I want. Like this guy sounds amazing. And so you'll get head over heels for a guy. And I've had this to me happen multiple times, and that's why now it's not that I'm shallow, but I do guard my heart, and that's the most important thing you want to do. Like whenever you're on these sites, like you want to guard your heart. You don't want to like already like jump too far in the future and assume like, oh my gosh, things are going to be amazing. Because don't get me wrong, I have my moments when I really, 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 really like a guy. We can be cuddling, and I'm already like imagining like long term, and that was like the stupid me back then. But now, like, it's important to guard yourself. But yeah, does anyone else want to have any feedback about what Tawanda said?
Like, this is Corinne. I never been ghosted, but I know, like, yeah, I can imagine that feeling horrible to have to wait. Because I know I hate when people are late for something, or if they call and say, oh, no, I'm canceling and I'm on my way to ghost her. So I can imagine actually, like, going to a restaurant, yeah, and, like, actually wasting my time, like, waiting for someone.
Exactly, yeah. And on top of that, like, you wait so long, you're like, what did I do wrong? And then all of a sudden you're like, then you realize that person was just an asshole. Like, they ghosted you. And so what I try and tell my female friends, whenever they get ghosted by a guy, like, right after maybe they had sex, I was like, you know what? He didn't ghost you because you weren't good enough. It's because he can't handle you. He can't handle, like, you being a bad bitch. And most guys who can't handle these women that end up ghosting them is not always because they're unattractive to them. It's usually because they're too intimidated by the girl most of the time. And so usually men have the tendency of, like, looking for someone that's, like, or I want to say downgrading. And so they'll go for anything that's easier. But when a girl has so much power and she knows what she wants, there's no way a man can, like, stand in her power. Well, that's my opinion and what I've noticed with these dating sites. And so that's why, like, I always push my friends to, like, really don't take a guy so serious. Like, I have a 90-day probation period. So for the 90 days, a guy's number will not be saved on my phone because he's in probation. His number will be saved, like, with his actual name, and I don't even call the guy babe or anything, like, just the small things, because that also teaches me how to, like, not get stuck to one guy, like, in a short amount period of time. But, yeah, so let me go on. So women are more likely than men to categorize certain information as an essential to see other users' profiles. Among online daters, 72% of women say that it's very important to put them on their profile and say they looked at included the type of relationship the person was looking for, compared half the men's profile. Hence why I think it's important to be honest and transparent to a potential date. So both genders have the tendency to lie about interest, height, and job. So this is where this question ties up in. When you are looking for a guy online, what is the first thing you look for or notice? And does anyone want to, like, answer this? I just want, like, at least, like, one person to answer.
How he looks, if he's attractive.
Yes. I know, like, that is one thing, attraction. Anyone else want to share?
Okay, so this is Destiny, and you know what I look for? Again, this is kind of one of my blind, quirky quirks that you guys probably, again, won't understand. But what I look for is what kind of voice he has.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? I agree with you because guys, you can be, like, on a site and he has, like, he looks like a Rico Suave, and all of a sudden his voice either sounds kind of feminine, aka gay, or the tone of voice he has. Because I've met guys who look super masculine, and once I hear them speak, that demasculinize them. So that's funny. Anyone else?
Like, physically wise, I notice usually their eyes and their smile first. Like, personality wise, I kind of make sure that, like, they have some sort of sense of humor.
Nice. Well, for me, when I go on a dating app or, like, site, I want to make sure, one, because, like, my purpose of, like, these dating apps, I never have the intention of, like, just meeting a guy and sleeping with him. And, like, I'm obviously not a guy. Like, I'm not saying all guys are like that, but that's what I've noticed. So that's why, like, my mentality is most guys dating apps, they just want to have fun. And girls are like that too, which I'm not against it's your body, your choice. But I always make sure that this guy has his life together, at least like working towards something amazing, or he has a stable job, because who knows? Like, I don't want to be falling for a guy and he doesn't have his life together. Like that, I'm at an age where I want to make sure the guy I meet has his life together. And then, yes, I make sure he's attractive. And then one other thing is, like, because I'm a fitness junkie, I expect the guy that I meet to be fit or working on being fit or have some kind of fitness trait. And so those are the things I look for, and also personality and his communication, because a lot of men nowadays, communication is difficult for guys. Like, guys suck at communicating. And in order for you to really find the right guy, you have to be so transparent. Like, even at, like, on your first date, or maybe even, like, on the app, you can ask them, like, you could just be transparent and be like, hey, so what are you looking for? And you should not be afraid to say that, because you want to find what you're looking for. And so, yeah, like, it goes to second, this, like, I have this last question, and then I have, like, a couple fun ones. Or first I'm going to go
Before you go, ma'am, may I comment, please? Before you go, I misunderstood what you asked originally. I thought you were asking, like, if you're actually on the dating site and you're going through profile, what is it that you're looking for? And I said, I'm looking at, like, what if he looks interesting to me, because I have a unique type of way I like. But it looks like you were asking what you're looking for in a guy. Is that kind of what you were really asking?
Oh, no.
Because I think I misunderstood your question.
I was totally talking about the app. No, it's like on a dating profile, usually it'll say like the guy's like and no, like that's why emailing on profile, even for profile, and not only that, for in a guy, but I do want to know what he's looking for in a guy.
Okay. Because honestly, on the profile, I go through the pictures. If a picture doesn't look like what I'm interested in, I don't even read the profile. I mean, but what I'm saying is it's not saying he has to be drop dead gorgeous. I'm looking for a specific type look. And what I mean by that is, it may be a guy who I like his hair, or I like his eyes, or I like he has on a suit or something like that. It's something in the picture that says, okay, I like this suit. I mean, he might not even be all that cute, but it may seem like he has confidence because he has a nice suit, or maybe he's on a motorcycle or something like that. So I look at the profile picture, or go through the pictures, because I think, that tells me a lot before I even read their profile. And, of course, reading the profile, kids, married, dating, crazy, blah, 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 height, etc.
Yes. No, girl, like, honestly, like, on a dating profile, I'm the same way, too. First, I have to make sure this guy's attractive and he's fit and he's, like, my type, and then I'll read the story of his life. But one thing I do hate, what guys will post on their profile, is like you're writing a bio, and then they're like, ask or get to know me, and I'm like, what gives me a reason for me to swipe on you or to message you? But that's like cases with Bumble. And so I'm gonna actually just hop on to like these fun questions, because I do want Corinne to be able to speak and give me her input, because I know, like, we haven't been talking as much, because, like, since it's all dating, online dating. But so, Corinne, would you ever go on a dating show?
If I was 100% unattached, yes, I would go on a dating show.
What kind of dating show would you go for? Because there's so much. There's The Bachelorette. There's A Bachelor, there's Next, there's Eliminate. I'm like naming old things.
I don't want to compete for a date, so I feel like I would have to go on any one of those shows where everyone's competing for me.
Oh my gosh, no, trust me, girl. I hate competition like that. I'm not going to be fighting over a man's shoot. If he wants me, he wants me.
Right.
That's funny. Yeah, and no, another dating show that I thought was interesting is Love is Blind. And in this dating show, each person is like in a box, and so it's like you're having a phone conversation. And so you're just getting to know a person like in like a box. But you know what? The funny